Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today's reaction is going to be on Nami, the Tidecaller. If this is your first time checking out one of my reactions, we're going to take a look at the biography and story first for Nami. We'll move on to any cinematic trailers, take a look at the gameplay, check out the skins, and then finally end off with the voice lines and special interactions at the very end of the video. Now, I decided to go into Nami pretty blind, to be honest with you. I don't really know very much about Nami whatsoever. It was recommended to me a while back. I had it written on a piece of paper. I'm like, okay, we got Nami on a piece of paper, so somebody recommended it. So we're just going to go ahead and get into Nami. Okay, so Nami's quote is, "I decide what the tide will bring." Okay, that sounds pretty, it's kind of like, that could be pretty menacing for sure. Role is support, region just says Runeterra. Race is Vastaya. Okay, so she's a Vastayan. Related champions are only Fizz and Nautilus. Okay, so funny enough, in our Gangplank reaction we just did, we kind of got interested in Fizz and Nautilus because of their voice lines and the interactions that we heard from them. Paragraph says, "A headstrong young Vastaya of the seas, Nami was the first of the Mirai tribe to leave the waves and venture onto dry land when their ancient accord with the Targonians was broken. With no other option, she took it upon herself to complete the sacred ritual that would ensure the safety of her people. Amidst the chaos of this new age, Nami faces an uncertain future with grit and determination, using her Tidecaller staff to summon the strength of the oceans themselves." Okay, a couple of things in this already that I don't know like very much about. We don't know anything about the Mirai tribe. Okay, apparently she went onto dry land, and then we don't know about this ancient accord with the Targonians. So hopefully we learn about that stuff here in her biography. All right, so there's her staff as well. I guess that's the other thing we learned. So she has a Tidecaller staff, which is basically her nickname, right? Okay, so in the seas to the west of Mount Targon dwells a tribe of Vastaya known as the Mirai. Long ago, these mermatic creatures discovered a rift in the depths. The rift bore a horrible creeping darkness which sought to exterminate all forms of life. Is this the void, maybe? At the center of their village, the Mirai placed a glowing rock known as a moonstone, which is said to be infused with the celestial magic of the heavens. Its haunting ethereal light protects the Mirai from creatures that crawl from the abyss. Every 100 years or so, the moonstone's light begins to dim. At that moment, the tribe chooses their fiercest warrior and bestows upon them the title of Tidecaller. Whoa, hold on. We're getting a whole bunch of lore for Runeterra, like the world, that I just totally didn't even know existed. This is kind of cool. The Tidecaller must plunge into the icy darkness of the rift, survive the horrors within, and retrieve an abyssal pearl. If successful, the Tidecaller rises to shore where a luminous wanderer from Targon's Peak awaits with the moonstone to trade for the pearl. It is an arduous ritual that holds the fate of many in its elusive hands, but the exchange has kept the creatures of the dark contained. So it's just like a bunch of, what did it say up here? Just like a bunch of just scary monsters down there, I guess. I don't know. In the past, the Mirai had sent troops of their most elite warriors to collect the pearl, but they learned the more forces they sent into the rift, the stronger the monsters became, as if it fed on their energy. Okay, is this the void? I don't know. While an army would be annihilated by the abominations below, a single scout armed with a legendary Mirai staff capable of controlling the tides could potentially elude the dangers of the deep long enough to escape with the pearl. Nami had always wanted to be the Tidecaller, but she was impulsive and young. A fierce fighter, she was known amongst the Mirai for her stubborn determination, which often got her in trouble. In Nami's adolescence, the moonstone once again dimmed for the first time in a century. Nami attempted the trial of the Tidecaller. Due to her impulsiveness, however, the elders chose Rasho, a prudent warrior known for his level head in battle, as their Tidecaller. Rasho dove into the depths of the abyss. A week passed, then another. An entire month, the Mirai waited for their Tidecaller's return, but there was no sign of Rasho. No Tidecaller had ever failed to return. Wow, like, yeah, this is like kind of crazy, because this is totally different than anything else we've read so far from like other champs, to be honest with you. It might as well be her. Nami grabbed her mother's Batha staff and plunged into the abyss. After several days, she returned with the pearl, the fallen Tidecaller staff, and a look of quiet horror in her eyes. Wow. Though furious at her impertinence, the village elders nonetheless admired Nami's bravery and officially designated her Tidecaller. I mean, what else are you going to do? Nami ascended to the surface and rode the tide to shore to meet the landwalker. The stone bearer, however, was nowhere to be found. Instead, an elderly woman waited on the beach. The woman, whose grandparents bore witness to the last Tidecaller exchange, explained that there was no moonstone. The aspect of the moon was the only being who could conjure a moonstone, but she had fled Targon. So Diana, right? So wait, okay, well, we haven't reacted to Diana yet, so why has she fled Targon? Nami was unwilling to accept this. She vowed to find the aspect and retrieve the moonstone. The lives of her people depended on it. Using the power of the mystical Tidecaller staff to summon a perpetual pool of moving water beneath her fins, Nami took to land to continue her quest. Determined, the Tidecaller swam into a brand new world. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, hold on. This is kind of crazy. This is actually really cool too. Okay, so let me make sure my story is correct here. So the aspect of the moon being Diana, I think I'm correct, was the one that was supposed to conjure a moonstone. And it is, the moonstone is the thing preventing all these creatures in the deep ocean or whatever from coming out. So now that's a problem. And I feel like that's not just a problem for the Mirai tribe. That's probably a problem for the whole ocean and possibly even the land if it becomes a big problem, right? And then now Nami's just on land, but it looks like she has a perpetual pool of moving water beneath her fins as she's like on land. That's kind of crazy. I'll have to see that maybe in action probably when we get to the gameplay, right? And so literally Nami is on a quest to go find the aspect of the moon because the moonstone is a tradition as well as something that protects their entire tribe from dying pretty much, right? So wow, yeah, I went into this blind and I'm kind of glad I did because this is kind of a cool story. I like it. All right, our story is called First Steps, so I'm just gonna assume we're gonna be like right in here right after she gets on land and like see what happens here. Nobody believed the girl, even after they'd clothed her and calmed her down enough to speak in complete sentences. Nothing she'd said made any sense. The villagers had seen their fair share of otherworldly things living at the foot of Mount Targon, made this an inevitability, but the child's story didn't add up. She described some sort of otherworldly humanoid who had risen from the sea that bordered their village. It sounded like a wanderer, one of the lost, confused celestial creatures who sometimes ventured from Targon's summit. No one had ever heard of a celestial appearing from the ocean, though. More likely, the young girl was playing games. Oh, okay, so is it maybe a watcher that's underneath? Interesting. But when a woman with crimson eyes swam into their village, held aloft by a pool of water that ebbed and flowed at her command, the villagers realized it was no game. If you're used to seeing some weird stuff, and then you see Nami, and that's even weirder, then you gotta be like, okay, what's going on? Hello, the stranger said. I am Nami. I am a Mirai, a creature of the blue. I mean you no harm. The villagers stared at her, mouths agape. Perhaps they were taken aback by her appearance. That would make sense considering how unusual they looked to Nami's eyes, flesh without scales and two backward arms where fins ought to be. Though they weren't much in the way of conversation, Nami did have their attention. I seek the aspect of the moon, for the aspect has something my people require. Without it, they, and possibly all the world, will succumb to a hungry and merciless darkness. Right, that's what I was saying before we got into this. I was like, if they don't stop that thing in the ocean, it might actually be a problem for like everybody. The villagers continued to stare at Nami, slack-jawed and mute. Only a sleepy four-legged beast went unfazed by the appearance of the dramatic creature in the village, as it carried on pulling mouthfuls of dried grass from a wheeled cart and smacking its slobbery gums. Nami stood in the silence, tapping her staff awkwardly. So if anybody knows where the aspect is, that would be, she sniffed, eager to create any noise to break the endless hush that had fallen over the crowd. Most helpful to me. It was as if the villagers had been frozen in place. It was so quiet. Nami looked around the village and saw small, fluttering lights all around. Anchored to small pillars of wax or large wooden sticks, the lights indeed seemed to be alive, but not sentient. They fluttered in the breeze and crackled with energy. What do you call that? Nami asked, pointing at the light. It's lovely. An old man in golden robes stepped forward. The people of the Oversky insisted on covering themselves for reasons Nami couldn't immediately understand, flanked by two sentinels. Okay, so who is this? From the many layers of draped fabric, Nami deduced he must be some type of elder, or perhaps he was just cold. You seek the moon, he asked. Is she your friend or your foe? Nami narrowed her eyes. The man's lip quivered with silent rage. The moon's aspect was clearly important to him, but in what way? Did he worship and wish to protect it, or did he consider it an enemy? It's a little bit of a weird question. Nami weighed the options. Surely, she thought, no one would be so unwise as to make an enemy of the moon itself, she replied. Friend, of course. Heretic, the elder shouted. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so these must be worshippers of the sun or something, right? Fiend, I said fiend, you misheard me, Nami shouted, but her pleas went unheard as the sentinels shouted orders. Okay, so she tried to like go back a little bit. She's like, no, I meant to say fiend. Many of the village's people grabbed their weapons, dipping their spears into round containers of fluid and sparking them alight. Nami stared at the tips of the spears now flickering with orange light spirits. Their dance was mesmerizing but radiated heat. Nami suspected touching one would be incredibly unpleasant. Oh, so that was what she was seeing. She's actually like seeing fire for the first time. I didn't realize. You will leave this village at once. You spread fear and deceit, and we will have none of it, the elder demanded. Nami stared at them for a moment, her face hard. This was it, her first test as a landwalker. She knew that if need be, she could defend herself against everyone in this village, but that wouldn't get her what she needed. I am scared, she said. The elder smiled. Nami did her best to ignore it. Not of you, mind. I've looked into the hungry, hateful maw of darkness and thought I would never feel joy again. Your spears can't compare to that, she said. Wow. That's kind of, I mean, the people aren't going to understand what she's saying, but I understand, and that's kind of scary to hear. And so I'm not going to leave, not while my people are still in danger, she said. She moved forward and planted her staff in the ground. She moved with such confidence and fearlessness the villagers were taken aback, physically in one unfortunate case. A young villager stumbled backward, his spear of heat skittering out of his hands, landing beneath the cart of dried grass. The dancing heat spirit grew taller. It licked the grass, spreading its own energy to the pile of dry hay. Within moments, the entire cart was ablaze with the hot, volatile energy. This is an interesting way that they're describing fire to somebody that doesn't know what fire is. She's calling it a dancing heat spirit. It grew taller. It spread its own energy. It's a very cool way of like describing fire. The grazing beast brayed in terror and turned away from the blaze. It kicked its muscular legs in confusion, knocking the cart onto its side, launching the burning grass into the air. The wisps of heat landed onto the village's thatched roofs and spread rapidly, consuming everything in its path with a voracious appetite. Oh my, the whole village is about to burn down. The villagers scrambled to fetch bucketfuls of water from a nearby well. Nami watched in frightened fascination as they hurled the liquid at the hungry spirits. Oh, she's about to take this fire out with her powers, isn't she? For a moment, their efforts seemed to beat back the spirit's rage, transforming the flickering glow into a horrible cloud of hissing air that, unlike the rest of the air in the oversky, seemed to expand with weight and form. The hissing smoke swirled as the spirits drank up the water and danced on along the rooftops, turning the blue night orange. More water, the villagers yelled quickly. I can help with that, Nami thought. Nami raised her Tidecaller staff, her knuckles tight. Focusing her thoughts, the seawater lapping the village's shore began to collect and vibrate. Nami tightened her grip and closed her eyes, pulling back her staff to draw the seawater toward her. I'm kind of curious about this, about the Tidecaller staff, like what powers it, you know what I mean? I'm just like kind of curious about what is behind the staff and its power, really. The ocean roared. It stretched itself into the air high above the village, a sheer wall of tidal ferocity hovering at the ready. The people screamed. Nami thrust her staff forward, pointing its headpiece toward the dancing heat. Please move, she shouted to the villagers. They did. The wave crashed forward as if to drown the entire village. Just before hitting the ground, the water twirled and twisted into an enormous turbulent tentacle. It snaked through the air, sniffing out the ravenous trails of heat and rage. I wonder if we'll see something like this in her abilities. The tendril of ocean water encircled the angry light, coiling around it like a serpent, constricting and squeezing the brightness in a suffocating collapse. With one last smoky gasp, the spirits fizzled, their glow replaced with the quiet blue of night. Nami exhaled, loosening her grip on the staff. The tentacle of water lost its shape in an instant and splashed to the ground to the startled delight of onlookers. The elder and his sentinels dropped their buckets. They turned to Nami, the rage they'd carried moments before, now but a memory. They looked upon their visitor with new eyes. Of course, right? Ionia, the elder said. What? The moon. Look for her aspect there. It's a continent. That way. Yeah, you're going to go that way to just a whole nother continent? Yeah, that's on the whole other side, actually, by the way. Or, well, okay, if it's a... Never mind. So I guess it's probably that way. I'm going left. I'm trying to picture where I am in Runeterra. I guess it'd technically be left, right? I think? I don't know. Of course, the moon and the tide were as brother and sister. Wherever the moon went, the Tidecaller staff would be drawn. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Oh, Nami exclaimed, her heart flushed with hope. That is, yes, thank you. Sorry about the, she said, waving her hand non-committedly at the drenched, dripping village. Anyway, thank you. I like the way she talks. She's kind of like a, I guess she is kind of like a teenager that doesn't know how to talk to adults in a weird situation. That's kind of how she's talking to me. Nami raised her staff and a wave reared up from the shore, wrapping her in a cocoon of water and carrying her back toward the ocean. The elder called after her. Fire, he shouted. What? Nami asked. The lights on our torches, our spears. It's called fire. It keeps us safe, but it can be irrational sometimes. Fire, Nami said, smiling. I like it. And with that, the Tidecaller returned to the oceans, headed for parts unknown. That's such a cool story. So not only did she convince, a whole village that she wasn't a bad guy, and then the elder actually helped her, but also he could tell that she was so interested in what what fire was, that she hadn't seen it before either, that he was like, oh, you know, you actually helped us out. And he's just like, yeah, that's fire. That's a thing that we like. Anyways, I think I mean, just from the biography and story alone, I really already like Nami like quite a bit, to be honest with you. I haven't seen anything else ever, like I swear, I haven't seen anything. I think maybe I've used her a tiny bit in TFT, but that's honestly it. I'm really excited to get into like her gameplay abilities, any cinematics she might have. She might not have any, I'm not quite sure. But I know she's in Legends of Runeterra, so we'll get to see some of that stuff as well. All right, so we're going to take a look at Nami's abilities in game. I didn't want to do the gameplay spotlight. It's 11 years old. We tend to not do them when they're that old. So let's just take a look at her abilities. And all right, so we have the role here is support. Difficulty is moderate. Let's take a look at the abilities. We got Surging Tide is the passive. When Nami's abilities hit allied champions, they gain move speed for a short duration. Oh. So if it accidentally or just happens to hit an ally, they also move faster. So very cool. That just happens to go with like her tide or her waves. That makes sense. Next, we have Aqua Prison. Sends a bubble to a target area, dealing damage and stunning all enemies on impact. Okay, cool. Dealing damage and stunning all enemies. So it's pretty small here. I can see from the video, but if you time it right and everything like that, probably pretty good. And then next we have Ebb and Flow. That's a cool name for an ability. W unleashes a stream of water that bounces back and forth between allied and enemy champions, healing allies and damaging enemies. Wait, let me see this. So she does it towards her ally first, but then it bounced straight to an enemy. So does it automatically go towards an enemy specifically? And can you target an enemy first, or do you always want to target an ally? Because if you don't have an ally nearby, I guess it wouldn't work that well. It would probably just go to the enemy and then right back to you, right? Very cool. So you can heal allies with it. Next we have is Tidecaller's Blessing. Empowers an allied champion for a short duration. The ally's basic attacks and spells deal bonus damage, magic damage, and slow the target. So yeah, I mean, she truly is a support champion. Now, I believe I've reacted to a support champion before, but these abilities are very much so, you know, help an ally, stun the enemy, heal an ally, like that kind of stuff, right? So very cool. And then what's going to be the ultimate here? I'm assuming, yeah, Tidal Wave is, I'm assuming what she did in the story that we read. It says summons a massive tidal wave that knocks up, slows, and damages enemies. Allies hit gain double the effect of surging tides. So now I have seen Tidal Wave in TFT because I happen to remember just some sort of wave coming over the board and knocking all the enemies up. I remember, I think that was like a meta at some point in TFT where like Nami was just very good to have. Okay, so cool. But it also, again, like her abilities have like double purposes, which is cool. Not only does it, you know, it knocks up enemies, slows them, damages them, but if an ally happens to get hit by it, it also will grant them the Surging Tides, which is, of course, giving them move speed for a short duration, but it's double. So I think she seems like a pretty fun character if you like support. I play support in Overwatch, but I don't know if that's what I would necessarily play in League, but because of, you know, these abilities kind of remind me of that, I think maybe I would. All right, I think she's a really fun champion just from the abilities here. I want to hear from you guys, though, if anybody plays Nami or if it's like a Nami main or anything. She's been in the game for 11 years, so there's got to be some of you out there that like really love Nami. You guys let me know in the comments how good she is. All right, we have the Nami reveal for Legends of Runeterra. Let's go ahead and give this a watch. 2.5 minutes.
I won't let my home be swallowed.
Okay, 3 mana, 2/3. When you cast a spell, grant +1/+0 to the weakest other ally that isn't immobile. And then level up when you've gained 7+ spell mana this game, okay?
By darkness.
And she has a tune, which I actually don't know what that does.
My people are counting on me.
Hearing her voice for the first time, she sounds cool.
For the tribe!
For the Mirai tribe. Uh-oh, gangplank.
First, brute.
I'm excited to get into her special interactions later. So we have her fighting up against a bunch of other Bilgewater people. It would make sense on her way to Ionia that she might run into Bilgewater a little bit.
Heed my call.
Crashing Wave. We saw the Tidal Wave card as well.
A pair of gills I'm happy to see.
All right, let's see her level up. It's got to be coming up.
I am the Tidecaller. I will drive back the darkness.
Ooh. Oh, okay, hold on. That part coming out of the ocean, let's see that again. That looked real cool. Oh, awesome. So is that the moonstone, or is it, oh no, that's the pearl that she had to go down and get, right? And trade for the moonstone. Okay, so 3 mana, 3/4 now, and then just when you cast a spell, grant +2/+1 to the weakest other ally. Okay, that's pretty good buffs. 3 mana, 3/4 is good as well.
Commence operation. We cover moonstone. I'm counting on you, Admiral. Wash away.
Wash away. Okay, let me not listen to her voice lines. I want to save them for later.
Ride the surging tides.
I think I'm liking Nami a lot so far.
Tides coming in.
I just like, I don't know, her story, and then I'm liking like the aesthetic of all these like ocean cards.
Let the tide carry you.
I'll show 'em pain.
And I am a Pisces myself, if that matters.
Who's hungry?
And then this trailer is about 2 years old, so she didn't come out right away.
Embrace the current or be swept away.
Reach the tide's ebbs and flow. I don't know what kind of deck she'd go in. I guess a spell heavy one, or I don't know. Because yeah, it looks like when you cast spells, it like buffs your other allies.
Winner, winner, turn a dinner.
Definitely like a mid-range deck is what she would probably go in, right?
A while longer.
Cool. So there's ebb and flow, Mirai Wardens. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I really like Nami so far. I don't know what it is, but I'm just like loving her, like her art style, and then just loving like her story and stuff so far. All right, guys. So I saw Nami's login screen uploaded by League was only a minute long. I listened to it, but then I also started to listen to the beginning of this it's just titled Tidecaller. It's 4 minutes long. This sounds exactly like it's the same as Nami's. So I'm just going to assume this is more like her champion theme. It's 4 minutes long. Let's give this one a listen. Yeah, like it starts the same way and everything as her theme. And it's called Tidecaller. Which I guess is just the person that, you know, is the Tidecaller of the Mirai tribe. So let's see. Is it exactly the same? Is there a flute? Nami's had a flute in it at the beginning. Maybe they add that in later. Oh, there it is. I think that's a flute. Dude, this is a beautiful melody for sure. Oh, that flute, man. Whoever's on that can play it really well. And then the piano accompanying it. Oh, dude, the piano's going great. Okay. Now we got like strings to bring it like to full power essentially. And the piano's just doing the same thing. Oh. Getting into the high notes on the flute. Dude, hold on. So far, this is one of the better ones, I feel like. I don't think I say that every time. I feel like I do say that a lot. But I think I'm enjoying this one quite a bit. Hold on, we're getting to the slow part. Oh. Okay, they're mixing it up. I played Final Fantasy VII Remake recently. I feel like this is a song I would hear in that game. That's how good I think this is. Like, it almost feels like a JRPG song. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Yeah, I really like the inclusion of the flute. It actually started with the piano. But I think the flute is kind of like the star here in this song. Although the constant piano, right? I feel like this song is like calming waters almost. Because of our like the water in the background here. And obviously Nami's just champion in general. Like serenity is the word I want to think of. All right, are they going to go full power again one last time? It's kind of like just trilling out right now. The piano sounds so good. No, I don't think they're going to go full power anymore. Is that the end? Oh, there's about 40 seconds. Oh, okay, we get one more melody again. Yeah, dude, it sounds so good. It's like you start up a brand new game and it's like an open world adventure. This is like the kind of music I expect, I feel like. The piano and the flute and everything, and you're just like exploring. That was actually super good. I personally like this a lot. I know it's not like hype like some of the other themes that sometimes we listen to for some of our champs, but I personally really liked this one because it felt like, I don't know, what I described the whole time we were listening to it. It just felt like calm, serene, serenity, all that stuff. And then it also just in my mind brought me to like me starting a brand new like open world game and just like getting to explore the big world and everything like that. That's what it felt to me. And maybe that's why I'm like appreciating it more. And also obviously the musicians just did a great job. So, all right, I want to hear from you guys though. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Tidecaller song. Okay, I'm pretty curious what kind of skins we're gonna get for Nami because I can't really like come to my head and like what kind of skins they might do for her. So let's go ahead and look at them. Here's the original skin. Let's keep going on. We're gonna try to pick our top 3. All right, next we have koi. Oh, okay. Okay, koi fish, a koi fish version. Okay, that makes sense. I think it's okay. We're probably gonna see some better ones as we go on. But it does look cool. Let's keep going. Okay, river spirit. Okay. I mean, again, it's pretty much just like a color change. They're just trying to make like a vibrant fish kind of here, really. So let's keep going. Next we have Earth the Nami tea. Oh, okay. So this is that one. We've seen this picture before. I'm like, where have I seen this? Yeah, okay, so that's her back there basically like cosplaying or like has a costume on as Earth. It says Nami doesn't quite understand the concept of Earth, but was told to don her apparel in honor of the great manatee known as Earth. Okay, so she's a manatee. I think this is probably like kind of a fun one. Next up we have Deep Sea. Oh, she's like monstrous compared to this other person. I'm gonna have to look at the 3D version of this one because we can't quite see what exactly is going on here. Okay, so again, it's kind of like a variation. We're just getting like fish variations. They added more fins here. They gave her kind of like a mohawk fin. And then her tail looks a little weird as well. I think we're gonna have some better ones, so let's keep going. All right, we have SKTT1. We're gonna have to see the 3D on this one again, but it looks like it's a cool one. I don't think I've seen this image specifically. But we have seen a lot of like the World Championship skins, but let's look at this one. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about, so the staff is something I got to take a look at. I do actually like the staff on this one. I don't really like the front of her like headdress here. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I do like the gold. I do like the gold quite a bit, but the red hair is kind of weird for me. Other than that though, I think everything else is good. Ooh, next. Okay. Yeah. Program. Okay. I do like the program skins generally. Let's take a look at these. I don't know how I feel about the staff. Why does the staff look like it's got a motorcycle wheel or something on it? It looks a little weird. I think the skin itself is cool, but I'm not the biggest fan. Or it's like a lollipop or something. I don't know what exactly is going on with this skin. Yeah, everything else about it is kind of weird. So I don't know if the program skin's also my favorite. Let's keep going. Oh, okay. Now this doesn't even look like Nami, but what is this? Splendid staff? Wait a minute. I'm so confused. Why does she have like a human face? I'm confused right now. I mean, this is a good skin, but it doesn't necessarily look like Nami. Or is this like her trying to be a human? I mean, she still has like, you know, the fish like body and stuff, but she looks more like a mermaid now, right? I think it's really good. I do like the staff on this one, especially on the original here. Like it looks really pretty. And then all the color variations honestly look really good as well. Okay, so Splendid Staff is going to be in the top 3 for now, but let's keep going. Oh, Cosmic Destiny. If you guys know me, I really like the cosmic skins. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, this one looks cool. The staff is getting a little bit on that like motorcycle wheel looking roundedness to it again, but it's not terrible. And I really like her hair and like the crown or headpiece on her this time around. I think she looks awesome in this one, actually. So Cosmic, man, the Cosmic skins never fail in my opinion. I really like these. Ooh, we have Bewitching. I think we've only had like one other Bewitching one. I think it was like Misfortunes, and I wasn't like the biggest fan of it. But let's look at this. Again, doesn't look like Nami necessarily, but they totally like reworked her, or revamped her, and made her like less fish-like, I feel like. And here we go with the candles again on the staff. I actually kind of like it because of the purple here. Like the purple on the original looks really good. You got the flame going on, and then it also has a pumpkin head on it. I think the Bewitching skin's actually maybe one of the best Halloween skins I've seen so far. Obviously, I haven't seen all the Halloween skins, but I really actually like this Halloween skin. I'd probably like this orange is perfect, honestly. Okay, Bewitching, very good. Okay, Space Groove. We've had a couple Space Grooves. I've been a little mixed about the Space Groove. Let's give this one a look. Interesting. It's like a futuristic, like 1950s, 1960s kind of style is what they go with, it seems like. Who is inside the staff? That's my first question. That's kind of fun, I guess. I wonder if like the little creature does things while you're playing the game. That might be a little distracting, but also kind of cool at the same time. Okay, I like it, but I'm a little worried that we might get some better skins. So let's hold off on saying anything about Space Groove. All right, and last but not least, we have, Coven. Coven skins, I've put like a lot of them in my top 3, but they haven't always been there. But I think the Coven skins are always pretty badass, honestly. Oh, she's like an octopus. Or like she's got tentacles. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm sure somebody likes that. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, so the red and black is kind of like my go-to of why I kind of like the Coven theme, because it's like kind of dark and gritty, and the red and black I think really looks good on a lot of champs. So I think the red and black is probably the best. Like this purple one's not too bad. The purple, black, red isn't too bad either. I don't know how I feel about the Coven one. You know, it is a little bit, the Space Groove, I always am like a little bit weird about some of the vibrant skins. So yeah, you know what? I am going to go with Coven here being in the top 3, along with my other 2, which is Bewitching and Cosmic Destiny. And I honestly want to say Cosmic's probably my favorite, but Bewitching is very close second, because I really like the Halloween skins on Nami. The candles are like okay to me. I think they're done particularly well, and then the pumpkins are really, really cool looking. So those are my top 3 skins. I want to hear from you guys though. Let me know what your favorite skin is for Nami. And the little bit of trivia we have is Nami's backstory resembles Dinotopia's. I have no idea what that is. When playing Nami and typing hat in the store search bar, the result displayed will be Boots of Speed, referencing The Little Mermaid. Ah, okay, that's good. I actually like this little bit of trivia right here. Referencing The Little Mermaid is actually kind of cool for her champion. It's perfect, honestly. All right, let's take a look at her fandom wiki. We're going to skip over the early life and background stuff because it's basically the same stuff in the biography and story. Let's start off with appearance. Nami is a slender Vastaya Mirai with green scales and sand-colored skin, long hair with a distinct palette of yellow, and a long fin instead of legs. She wears no clothes. Her body is covered in green scales. The most distinctive ornament on her attire is the Tidecaller crown, which is dark and has a light blue amulet in its center on her head. She carries with her the Tidecaller staff. That's a pretty good description of Nami. Yeah, that's what she is. And then we have personality. Nami is a very kind and friendly individual, but she's also extremely protective and determined in her duty to protect her people, the Mirai, and she is loyal to her cause. Yeah, I also agree with that very much. She seems very friendly and like a friendly individual based on like how she interacted with the villagers in the story we read. That just kind of shows what her personality is. And of course, there's the voice lines, but we haven't heard those yet. Okay, so abilities, Vastayan physiology. So she does have that. Nami is a Vastaya, an ancient race of demi-humans changed by magic of the spirit world. The connection to the spirit realm increased their longevity so they can live for centuries and granted them powerful magic. The Vastaya are divided into several different tribes, each one defined by a specific animal. Nami is a Mirai, a type of aquatic Vastaya. Okay, that's just all they're saying about it. They're not like saying a specific thing, just an aquatic Vastaya. And then amphibious. Being a Mirai, Nami is adapted to survive underwater. She can breathe underwater, survive intense pressures, and swim at great speeds. Yeah, anything related to being in the ocean or whatever, she's going to be able to be an expert at that. Water magic. As a Vastaya Mirai, Nami is able to control water magic in the form of imprison others in water bubbles, increase the power of others or herself, and summon powerful waves. She can move it, turn it into different shapes, and even make it fly in the air. And then healing magic, Nami is able to heal individuals with healing waters. Yeah, pretty much she can manipulate water and do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. Okay, let's take a look at the relations here. I'm a little curious what we got. It's kind of small. We have Loto and Tama, so they are both Legends of Runeterra cards. Who are they? Nami is in a bisexual polyamorous relationship with Loto and Tama. Okay. Nami refers to Loto as my heart and also refers to Tama as my soul. Tama refers to Nami as Pelea, which means beloved one, a term of close endearment, and Loto refers to Nami as beloved. Okay, so basically they both refer to her as beloved. Interesting. She's in a polyamorous relationship. Would you look at that? And then Diana, this is interesting. So she is searching for the aspect of the moon, which is the only one that can create the moonstone for her people's need to survive. Nami refers to Diana as luminous wanderer, child of the moon, and Mirai's light. Okay, so basically, in terms of lore-wise of what they could do in the future with her, like they need Diana and Nami. Like Nami needs to find out where Diana is, and I guess I need to react to Diana and see where she is because Nami really needs that moonstone. And then we have Fizz and Longtooth. So Fizz, obviously we know that's another champ. Longtooth is, it looks like it's just a shark. Nami is friends with Fizz and is implied to personally know his pet shark Longtooth. Okay, Fizz has a pet shark. What? That's actually pretty cool. Okay, so it's just implied that, or they are friends, and then it's implied that she knows the pet shark. And then Mirai tribe. Nami is currently the Tidecaller of the Mirai tribe. She's the emissary of everyone in the tribe, as Tama, Great Mother, Ayla, and Journeying Sandhopper, Loto, and Liole. Okay, so those are just other cards that we're going to definitely hear the voice lines of in the Legends of Runeterra voice lines. I'm interested to get into those and see if she has any other like little small interactions with other champs for sure. And then very tiny trivia here. It just says Nami's tribe, the Mirai, were possibly named after the Latin word for sea, which is mare. And then Nami is over 180 years old. And she's considered like a teenager, basically, right? At 180. And yeah, she's a Vestayan, so that makes sense. Interesting stuff here. You know, there's not, I mean, she is an older champion. She's, what, I think maybe 11 years old based on like her champion spotlight and stuff. Not too many interactions with other champions, at least according to the Fandom Wiki. So hopefully we'll learn some more stuff in the voice lines. All right, peeps. So Legends of Runeterra, we're going to do the special interactions for Nami. Now, these are going to be obviously the most recent voice lines for her since she is a older champion. I have looked already. There was only like about a minute and a half worth of voice lines for her in League of Legends. So this is going to be like primarily what we're really going to listen to for her voice lines. And hopefully they're pretty good because we're not getting very many voice lines in game.
You know, I've done some shark calling myself.
Okay, with Fizz.
Longtooth's been looking for a new buddy.
Okay, we learned that that is Fizz's pet shark, which is odd.
There's a pair of gills I'm happy to see. Fizz and Nami, rulers of the sea. Nami, I thought we were on the same team. This isn't a game, Fizz. The Mirai need my help.
Very interesting effect they've added to her voice. It's adding like this water effect when she's talking. It's not doing the same for Fizz. It's really just when she's speaking.
I will die before the Merc takes
It is for
another.
him. Okay.
Please don't be reckless. We need you.
Before the Merc takes another.
No one can stop me. Not even you.
A
I
Mirai
forgive
songstress.
you. Now and forever.
That's a weird response.
I'll make corpses of them.
Oh, Gangplank. Here we go.
Not if you drown first, brute.
We've actually heard that because we reacted to Gangplank. Okay.
Into the darkness.
I did, and it almost broke me.
Yeah.
Almost.
She went into that darkness, essentially. I wonder if Nautilus, she's probably just referencing the darkness, but I wonder if Nautilus has anything to do around with the hole that's in the water.
Chosen of the moon.
Here we go, Diana.
Familiar glow. I finally found you.
Okay, so she finally finds her in Legends of Runeterra.
Find your own light within the darkness.
Child of the moon, you are the Mirai's light.
Yeah, you just need to go up to Diana and be like, hey, Diana, could you just like give me a moonstone real quick? And then I'll let you go for, you know, a century. And then I'm going to need another one.
Trash! Eat that trash!
You did not just throw trash in my sea.
Ooh, yeah. Don't throw trash in the sea.
Everyone,
Bubba! Come give me a hug.
Bubba? Bubble Bear?
That eye. You've been tainted by the Merc.
Oh, they call it the Merc. Okay, that's what
Poor
she's
creature.
referencing.
What horrors have you seen? Currents keep you, great Leole.
Leole, Avatar of the Tides.
You grace me with your presence, oh great one.
Yeah, this is like basically, okay, so Avatar of the Tides is what? Is that like the, I guess just the Avatar of the Tides, and that's literally what powers like the Tidecaller staff and most of her abilities, so.
I'm sure
Long
glad
tooth.
you're on my side, Toothy.
He's a little
Is that
scary.
a happy grin or an I'm gonna eat you grin?
It's probably hard to
Who's
distinguish.
the cutest little shark in the whole sea?
Short tooth.
Tiny shark, big bite.
Yeah, it's a 4-2.
My
Jeez.
heart!
My heart. Why'd
Your
she say
fight is
that?
over. My soul!
This is allies dying. Okay.
Beloved, no!
Oh, beloved. Right. The whole like trio thing she's got
Hurry.
going
My
on. The
people can't wait
polyamorous.
much longer. I know their fear. I felt it too.
Okay.
My loved ones will be safe a while longer. I'm proud to call myself Tidecaller.
Okay.
We'll just have to keep trying.
She's
No
very
giving up?
positive. Yeah, like she's very she keeps her head up basically. That's what I'm trying
No
to say.
matter what.
Even in defeat, which is interesting. All right, do we have any other Nami voice lines in here? Let's go ahead and look.
I can't give up now. I'm sorry, Ludo.
Lodo.
Beloved.
Okay, there's the other beloved.
I
So yeah, again, just to like reiterate, so she very much so, even at defeat, she is still staying positive, and that's a hard thing to do in my opinion.
Beloved, get behind me.
Okay.
You know that's not gonna happen.
Oh, that's kind of an interesting thing that we learn about her. She's not gonna get behind somebody that she loves. She's gonna actually fight and try to protect them herself, or just fight alongside them, right? She won't cower. That's very cool.
Currents keep you, young
Mirai, great
Tidecaller.
mother.
And you, great mother. Your words give me strength.
Calling her young Tidecaller, even though she's 180.
You sacrificed
But that's
so
young.
much for us, child.
Commence operation! We cover Moonstone!
Oh my god, that
I'm
voice.
counting on you, Admiral.
It's a little kid.
Look, Nami! I have located
Look,
the
Nami.
Moonstone! That's a sea biscuit, Shelly, but good try.
That's adorable, actually.
I'm here.
That's actually really adorable.
Good tides and good tidings, Pelei.
Pelei.
So
Okay.
formal. I'm glad you're here, Tama.
Okay, so Pelei is like what her real Mirai name is, basically.
The world can wait. Our people need us now.
Waters?
I
Wait. Let me not just take that without like thinking about it a little bit more here. She says, Waters whispered, the world is troubled. I wonder what this is in reference to. I mean, there's a lot of like current things all around the world of Runeterra that this could possibly
The
be.
world can wait. Our people need us now.
Yeah, like it could be anything else.
I am with you, now and forever.
Okay.
Now and forever.
All right. Sounds like they love each other.
Perhaps our end is
What's it like, the land above us?
Okay, Mirai Warden.
It's dry and really bright, and everything has feet.
Not everybody's a big fan of feet. I myself am, I guess, neutral to feet, but I know some people are like grossed out by feet, and obviously there are others that really enjoy feet. I'm neutral.
Currents keep you, my Yordle friend.
A conchologist.
Oh, him and to you.
Is he supposed to be swimming? Can Yordles swim?
What fetching scales you have.
Fetching
And
scales.
you've got the cutest hat I've ever seen.
Okay. So he's just kind of like, it sounds like he's like researching water creatures, I guess.
I go wherever the waves take me.
A sandhopper.
Oh, I prefer moonlight. It's soft and comforting.
Okay, that makes sense for Nami and the Mirai tribe in general. Okay, cool. So I think the biggest thing that we really learned from Nami in these voice lines, and I like that. I think her voice lines are very nice. I don't think there's anything that I have like any complaints or anything about. She's very calming and soothing and things like that. And then like there's like this water effect going on with her voice. But yeah, really we learned that she tries to stay positive even in defeat. It doesn't sound like she gets angry whatsoever. She has a couple of people that she's willing to protect, or I mean, I guess she's willing to protect her entire Mirai tribe. And then, she has her two beloveds, but she's willing to like fight. She's not going to cower. She's not going to let other people fight for her. She's very much like headstrong and will fight for herself. And yeah, I mean, it seems like she has a lot of friends. We got Fizz. I guess we don't want to say Nautilus is a friend. I don't know if Nautilus is friends with anybody. But yeah, you know what I mean? We got Bubble Bear here named Bubba. She's friends with Fizz. She's friends with his pet shark. So she just seems to make a lot of friends, and she seems like a friendly champion altogether. And that's a good thing. We didn't even have any like funny lines. We didn't have any trash talk lines. It was all pretty much just like a very positive champion. Okay, I'm excited to see though what we got originally in League of Legends 11 years ago when she first came out. So let's go ahead and see what those are. Okay, so again, it's only 1 minute and 20 seconds. This is the same thing. It's League Voices, Skin Spotlights. It's uploaded by the same people. It's 11 years old. Let's go ahead and listen to Nami 11 years ago. I'm actually curious, are these 11-year-old voices like basically still in the game? Have they just not been touched and they've basically stayed this way? Do they still interact the same way? Because I know there was the big change to League, and I wonder if these voices are even still in the game. But all right, let's go ahead and listen.
Cool out, Squirt. There.
Cool out, Squirt. That's the first thing we get. Okay, I'm turning on closed captioning. These are going to go by fast as well, so let's go try to keep up.
Puddle monsters at best. Do not.
See, this is what I was expecting, like some like sort of like water puns or something. That's probably what they did with League of Legends, but not so much Legends of Runeterra. All right.
Force my hand. The seas are rising. Wash them away. Welcome to the deep end. Let the seas reclaim them.
Ooh, I like that. Welcome to the deep end. And I'm assuming these are like her using her abilities in game.
Douse them. Have a drink. Soak it up.
Have a drink. Soak it up.
Bottom feeders. The ocean will sweep them away. The sea has no pity.
And this does not have like the water effect that Legends of Runeterra has. Oh, deaths. Okay. Oh, Jesus, it's loud. Jeez. How many death noises do you have to make?
Sometimes you're the catch. Sometimes you're the bait. The sea.
Okay. See, these are kind of fun. I like these little fun ones. The ones in Legends of Runeterra are very much like more tame. I kind of like these. I like the Legends of Runeterra ones too.
Holds fearsome creatures. And them. I moonlight as a shark collar.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. No, you can't do that after a joke.
Quit flopping around.
Quit flopping around might be the best voice line so far.
Always another wave.
I need to say that to people more, I feel like.
Swim against the current. I'll find my path. Sure as the tides. We are all tied to the ocean. Ride upon the waves.
That's true.
Feet are strange. People and their air. My people are counting on me.
People in their
I
air.
still hear the song of the sea. I will see my
Song
home
of the
again.
sea.
My quest beckons. Ew. Whale breath. Yeah.
Ew. Okay.
Afraid to get your feet wet? Swim at your
Afraid to get your feet wet is also so clever.
own risk. Yeah! Ocean, spill forth! High tide!
High tide. Okay, cool.
Light as a shot.
All right, so these were very short, but again, these feel more like what I expect from League of Legends voice lines. I think these are kind of what I thought we were actually going to get in Legends of Runeterra, but I'm glad with what we got in Legends of Runeterra. It was just her interacting with the other like water Mirai people and just like kind of how they would normally have a conversation, right? And then we had over here, we had the total opposite of like what she would actually say to other champions or when she's actually using her abilities. So I think these were really fun because it had like the clever little water puns or whatever, like afraid to get your feet wet. I think those are really funny. The flopping around one, again, I'm going to try to use that more or something. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys actually prefer voice line wise? Do you actually like these where it's just these funny voice lines of her just doing this, the funny puns? Or do you guys actually like the Legends of Runeterra ones where we just kind of got little small interaction? I think I personally prefer the Legends of Runeterra ones, maybe because they're just newer, a little bit more like lore related in the sense that we get to learn her personality. While over here, these are just kind of like funny lines that the champion can say in game when you're using them, right? I think, yeah, like lore wise, I think I prefer Legends of Runeterra, but I think these are just fun to listen to. All right, guys, Nami, I think was a quick one. I think she was really fun. She's totally different than all the other champions. I say that every time because, you know, every champion, in my opinion, is pretty unique. And it's pretty hard to have every champion be so unique, but they're doing a great job with that. So Nami was like our first water-based champion, I guess. And I'm curious to know where her lore does go in the future. We need her to find Diana and eventually get a moonstone and prevent the Mirai tribe from being decimated by whatever's in the ocean. I'm very curious if maybe in the future they won't even have her get to Diana in time, and like the thing in the water becomes another existential crisis or threat in the world of Runeterra and whatever comes out of it. So we'll have to see what's going on with that. That might be an MMO thing whenever that game actually finally comes out, or they might just never touch this lore ever again, because I know it's impossible for them to keep up with every champion. And I know they're really focusing on like Arcane right now, and they're probably really focusing on the champions related to the lore in Arcane. So we're probably actually going to start doing some more Arcane related champions in the near future here, like Victor. I technically need to do like Vi and Jinx and all them, so we'll have to see. Maybe I'll start getting into those guys pretty soon here. All right, guys, thanks again for watching the video. I really appreciate it if you left a like on it, and please consider subscribing to the channel. We have a bunch of other League of Legends reactions you can take a look at. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.